following podcast is recorded and produced by the Podcast Precinct in affiliation with the network at bicbp-radio.com. The Podcast Precinct. Consistency, creativity, culture.
The Nostalgia Funhouse proudly dedicates all episodes in the loving memory of Connie Chirac. So, Johnny, I've been hearing really great things about this Nostalgia Funhouse. It just brings back so many great memories.
Andrew, the only reason I'm moving in line with you here is that you really vouched for this show. So I'm just going to believe you that this is the show that, I've been wanting, which is just talking about all the fun stuff from our yesteryear and the years before. And I really hate anything meta. So I'm glad that what we're doing right now is not that.
Oh, no, definitely. What is meta? Isn't that Ron Artest's new name?
Well, add world and peace to it, sure.
Yeah, but this is great. They last year they were tearing play sets and Halloween costumes.
Well, that sounds cool.
They get these weird court recordings from pop culture courts.
Does anybody care about court cases?
These ones are kind of cool. They put Scott Kelvin on trial. Poor old Santa Claus there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, man. You know what's the best part about this is though? Is I hear they always got a really great sponsor. You can check it out right there.
It's coming. The day when all you want to do is put on a creepy costume and scream your head off. You've got to watch Halloween Screams. All your ghoulish friends will be there as Box Kids, Shocks Kids. So keep an eye out for Halloween Screams Friday on Fox Kids.
Oh, hello out there. It is I, Count Dracula, and I'm proud to present the Nostalgia Funhouse. Well, thanks, Dracula. That's a great introduction. I'm Johnny. He's Andrew. Yeah. This is the Nostalgia Funhouse. And Andrew, it is almost that time of year where the ghosts and the ghouls and the vampires come out to play.
But the werewolves and the mummies stay away?
No, they're there too, hiding in the dark.
So I do got to say, this is the first time I'm working kind of retail during Halloween. And if I got to listen to one more animatronic go off at work, and I work at night,
yeah.
And I'm not down an aisle by myself, and I got to listen to that one more time.
Yeah, especially
the swing on one.
Especially where you work at. They probably have quite a number of those, don't they?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
I'm just glad I don't work during the day, when kids can just randomly step on them.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I know it's annoying, but also I'm that guy. If I see stuff down an aisle that you can push a button on, I'm pushing the button. I'm just saying.
They already got rid of headphones at work, so right now it's just the ambient music. Well, not so much ambient music, but whatever the music is playing.
How are you supposed to listen to the panel discussion?
I gotta listen to it in sections, or when I'm at.
That's ridiculous.
Yes, so because we do have a choice where I could listen to it on my phone through the speaker, but I kind of want to keep my job for a little bit longer. You don't want to go into HR.
I don't know what you're talking about. It's a wholesome show.
Oh, very wholesome.
But for this episode of Nostalgia Funhouse, in order for us to get ready for the Halloween, season of this is new season of Halloween, we're looking back at a tried and true time for us as kids, and that is, of course, Fox Kids Halloweekend.
Yeah, this is a very big part of my childhood where I was geared up for this. I remember they would do a whole week sometimes too, where it was
they would
Halloween.
You'd even come home afternoon, when you get home from school, they would be Halloween themed episodes.
It was the best. And that was the first thing I thought of. And then I looked it up, and then I saw this on YouTube. And I was like, Johnny, we're doing this. We're going to do this. And of course, Johnny was like, I'm in.
Bingo. Yeah, I'm in. I have all kinds of notes. So this is from, and Andrew, I'm going to assume you're going to post this link on our Facebook page.
Oh, yes. I'm going to post it.
But somebody put on YouTube, it's 4 hours of Fox Kids Halloweekend from the 90s, including commercials.
Oh.
But it's like a mismatch of the years as well. It's not just like they didn't just pick one year. And from different areas of the country as well.
That's kind of the cool part, because the great thing, even though I'm not a huge fan of like the internet and Facebook, but there are certain benefits of coming to it, of learning different things. Like I remember they talk a lot about the Fox Kids Club.
Yep.
I remember thinking only we had a Fox Kids Club or something like that around here, but then you see it everywhere. And then it's just, I think that's probably the beauty part of this, is learning that the way that different parts of the country were. Like Johnny's still amazed that in New York you have to pay a 5 cents deposit on any pop/soda.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me.
Water now too, water bottles.
Now, I'm going to get this before we get started on this.
Yes.
All throughout this, and I don't know why I'd forgotten about this, because this happened a lot, especially on Fox. If any of their shows became a hit, any of their cartoons, they would almost always have a contest involving that cartoon or show. Where one of the prizes that you'd want to win as a kid is like every toy from from Batman, for example, was one of the prizes.
I got then the Power Rangers, go shopping with the Power Rangers.
Yes, go shopping with the Power Rangers. I think you could either win a shopping spree at the Power Rangers or like a box of macaroni Power Rangers.
Yeah, like or there was a Big Bad Beetleborgs one too.
Yeah. We'll get to
you
that
could
show.
go trick or treating with, I think, the Big Bad Beetleborgs and Flapper.
Yes.
Because that's what I wanted to do.
Now, as a kid, I always heard other kids say nobody ever wins these, right? Andrew, you're looking at the guy who won a Sonic the Hedgehog.
No way.
Yep. For my area, I won a Sonic the Hedgehog prize pack.
You were so lucky.
That's the only thing I've ever won. So I don't know about that, because I had to go to Charlotte to get it. On top of that, so I had to, I think my grandparents took me because my parents worked.
Your parents were probably like, because your parents both worked, so they're probably like, I don't want to go to Charlotte. Because I don't know how far Charlotte is, but from what
if you're a parent, it's like an hour away.
Okay.
But also the thing is, as a parent, I guarantee you, they're almost like, just let him enter this contest. He's not going to win this stupid thing.
Because I entered one in the Power Rangers one where you could go to, like, I think it was California, like in the early years of the Power Rangers. And I just entered it and I got nothing. But it's good to know that you got a Sonic the Hedgehog.
It had all kinds of Sonic the Hedgehog stuff in its box. I won that, and when I was in my late 20s for a local radio show, you had to they put up on their Facebook page, they put up some picture and you had to write a funny caption, and the funniest caption would win. I don't even remember what my caption was, but I won. And it was like, it's supposed to be like, it's a secret surprise. You don't know what you win. I drove all the way to Charlotte to pick up my copy of an Avril Lavigne CD. Not worth it.
No. Not even with the gas prices back then, compared to what that CD costs now, and then what it even cost back then. It still doesn't. It's still
not worth it. Not worth it at all. The coolest part was I actually got to look around the radio station.
I'm trying to think. What did I? Okay, so I didn't win it, but my dad gave it to me. Our former in Niagara Falls, the former local, because it's closed down now, comic book store, House of Fantasies. My friend, my dad was friends with the owner, and he had an AM radio show. So this is basically like podcasting before podcasting. And he would ask a trivia question, you call in, and my dad got it, and I won this plastic glow in the dark Green Lantern ring.
That is cool.
Which I wore. And the only other big thing that I won is I won a PS4 from Taco Bell. But
that to me is winning.
I had to be the adult in the situation, and I sold it to my brother-in-law to help fund Christmas. So that's
just being nice. Honestly, I don't know if I could have done the same thing. That's a PS4.
Yeah, I was a little like, ugh. So it was pretty much, it came the day before. It came the day before it even came out into stores.
Yeah.
And he even got home and he was like, dude, I can't even play anything online. He's like, there's not even any servers up. I'm like, well, okay, there's kind of a bonus of selling it. But I got one later on, and I'm kind of glad I waited because I don't even hardly touch my PS4 anymore.
No, well, you can send it to me for free one day if you want to. All right. So
All right,
what they did was they all these are Halloween themed shows, right? Like episodes. They're morning cartoons.
And it started off with Bobby's World, which is always great. I thought, okay, so basically, rundown of this episode: Bobby didn't want to be like a pumpkin; he wanted to be his hero, Captain Squash, like we all want to be.
Yeah, everybody wants to be Captain Squash.
Yeah.
The gist of it is he's not yet old enough to go trick or treating like he wants to, but his uncle shows up, and he's the fun uncle, of course.
Uncle Ted, man.
Yeah.
The best.
And they make their own haunted house, and it becomes a major hit.
And they donate the money to charity.
Yeah.
They get charity and candy, and they donate the money to charity. And I think they made like $400. But
that was more than $400. Like, it was the steps were covered in cash.
yes. And some of my little highlights during this was, I like the kids with no costumes. And they were like, we don't have costumes. Because it seems to me there's always some type of kids that just don't have costumes. A lot of older kids. So that's where I get a little suspect. If you're a younger kid in no costume.
Or sus, we got to keep up with the times.
Sus.
Yeah.
Sus. Sorry. I didn't know we were playing Among Us. Which was a pretty cool game until once again people were like, I'm gonna ruin this completely.
Yeah, until people were doing people stuff. Yeah, they became people. Real quick, I want to point out, I don't know why I always forget this, because we literally just watched Bobby's World not that long ago for this show. I've forgotten just how annoying that sister's voice is.
Yes.
I can't take it.
Too much Valley Girl.
Yeah.
I still like the mom with the don't you know.
Don't you know now? Yeah.
I thought that was great. Some of the commercials that caught me is, what happened to video game commercials? How come we don't get these anymore?
I know.
Sega commercial is just amazing. Can I get a Sega commercial?
Yeah. I want to point this out too. Apparently in the 90s, Lucky Charms had an anniversary year. They wanted to celebrate this. So how do you celebrate a major milestone for Lucky Charms? You would think you would have like a special marshmallow,
some Lucky Charms.
But no, what you do instead is, in especially marked boxes of Lucky Charms, you toss in what had to be a delicious microwavable cake.
Makes sense.
Yeah. I guarantee that was the tastiest cake.
How did you feel about the chicken nugget commercial with the chicken nugget people? Love the chicken nugget people.
I also love the chicken nugget people. How did you feel? I don't know. I love chicken nuggets, but it made me think twice about eating one.
Watching this all the way through, I'm just going to kind of give you a spoil thing. Anything that had to do with video games and cereal, because I don't feel you see that enough. I pretty much almost made a note of like the Applejack commercial with the classic, it doesn't, why do they call it Applejacks if it doesn't even taste like apples? I
was about to bring up that this Applejacks commercial is just a million times 90s, because this is during that time where any kid thought they were the greatest smart aleck of all time with their comebacks by just saying one single word. Duh.
I do as duh.
Yeah.
I miss duh.
I do miss duh as well.
I miss duh. And I don't know if this ever caught on, but I remember it just caught on into our area, is if you didn't like something or somebody wasn't doing good, it was just straight booty.
I remember that. Yeah. Like that microwavable birthday cake. Yeah, it was probably straight booty.
It was straight booty.
Now, me and you both, we do enjoy Bobby's World.
Yeah.
And this is a very fun episode of Bobby's World.
I enjoyed this one. I gave it an A. I thought it was cool. I like the fact that he wasn't keeping the money. was going to charity.
He kept the candy though.
Yes. Well, you got to keep the candy. I like the fact that Uncle Ted was, as the kids say, putting some riz on that single mom that came in.
Yes. He most certainly was.
He was.
Yeah, this is a
rizzing her
very
up.
fun episode. I gave this a B. I really enjoyed this. I think it's just the whole Bobby's World thing that just never ever really clicked for me. I don't know why. It's still a very fun show. Also, every one of these episodes are going to be heightened for me just because they're Halloween themed, and I just love that in a vacuum in the first place.
Yeah, it's an A. I just had to give it an A. So next up we have Go Power Rangers, which they had to face a rapping pumpkin.
The pumpkin rapper is a rapper that I'm pretty sure I would buy that album.
This very
his rapping was way better than the Power Rangers.
Oh my goodness, when the Power Rangers were rapping,
that was as the kids say, pure cringe.
Yes, that was horrible. And the other crazy thing is so Kimberly is on a episode of a game show called Trick or Treat that just seems like it's Halloween themed constantly, where you have to trick the game host with a question, which sounds absolutely ridiculous because her first thing she asks him is, do you know the identity of the Power Rangers? And he said anything. Am I wrong on this? Like, he could have been like, it's this person, this person, this person.
What is she going to say? No, you're wrong.
Thank you. That's where I was like, this is, as a kid though, I would
just also, if you just think about this, just the premise of the show is terrible.
Yes.
Like, you're just opening this up for all kinds of questions that there's no way you're going to know the answer to. But of course, she's not just in this alone. Who's her opponent in this? Andrew.
Skull.
That's right. Of course it's Skull. But the winner wins a car. So that's really important here.
Yeah.
Not just any car. It's a red Mustang convertible. Andrew, your boy Johnny, one of his first, which car was this? My second or third car, I can't remember. I too had a mid-90s red Mustang. It wasn't a convertible, but it was a GT, and I love that thing.
So you're pretty close to what Skull wins, because he wins it by default because Kimberly's got to go. She's got to go. She's got to go face this pumpkin wrapper. So she pretends to faint, which is absolutely horrible. And once again, the Power Ranger stick of Billy says like the scientific term for something, and Trini translates it into layman's terms.
Yeah.
But not only did Kimberly have to leave, Tommy, the Green Ranger, had to leave too. He did not get a chance to even. I don't even know if he got a chance to compete in his competition.
He didn't. It was his turn when he got called, of course.
So
now here's a couple of my
life
notes.
lesson: when you're a Power Ranger, you have to make sacrifices.
Yes. So here's a couple. With great power comes, of course, great responsibility. Now, here's a couple more of my notes. That "Go Green Ranger Go" song, give me that in my veins 100 times. That song rules.
Go Green Ranger, go!
Freaking loved it. I'm not even going to kid around. That song was fantastic.
Can I put that on my Spotify playlist? I think I'm going to try and find that, and I'm going to play it out loud at work as I'm just walking around. Whenever somebody tells me to go, I'm like, hey, I need you to do this. I'm just going to put "Go Green Ranger, go" on it.
Now, I don't know why I never put this together, and it's probably because I was watching Power Rangers before this other thing, but the Green Ranger looks just like Matt Hardy.
Don't even.
Also,
I did hear a funny Matt Hardy joke while listening to an old episode of the 10 Bell Pod where they talk about Mabel when he became King. Once again, wrestling reference as we cross over from one show to another. We're talking about Matt Hardy was one of the like bearers that had to like carry out King Mabel.
Yeah.
And Jake Manning was like, I was thinking it, and he said it. He was like, I wonder if that's when Matt Hardy's back problems began.
It could have been. Yes. And it certainly didn't help. Here's a couple of other of my notes real quick. give me those Gargoyle BK Kids Club toys right now.
Yes.
Just give them all to me. I had one or two of those. I love those things. I love that show.
Thank you for the panel discussion for absolutely ruining that Burger King Kids Club commercial for me.
I'm Team Wheels all the way. And of course the Power Rangers save the day. We actually don't get the actual Zords this time though. They never actually go there.
And that is why I gave it a B+. Because if I don't get no Zords, you don't get an A.
Let me ask you this: on a game show in which it's just trying to ask a question that the host doesn't know.
Yeah, how do you
cheat that?
Like that is the thing. Like
so Skull wins the prize, he wins the car, but it's taken away from them because they were discovered to be cheating. I present to you, how do you cheat when that's the premise of the show?
Well, that was like in the beginning, they were like, we can cheat.
Yeah, but their cheat really is just like Bulk is in the crowd and he's trying to mouth along to get Skull to say what he wants him to say. That's all it is. Like, just let him have his stupid car. Who cares?
And then why would the head of standards and practices come and get the car? Wouldn't it be like some repo guy?
And speaking of head, when I shouldn't have started that sentence.
El Snow. We'll just go El Snow.
When the Power Rangers show up to the pumpkin patch and they see those pumpkins, and the pumpkins jump on top of their heads and won't get off, a la Mr. Bean and a turkey.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I can't breathe. How do they breathe in their helmets in the first place? I hate to tell you this. Those mouths on those helmets are just there for show.
I gotta say, because we talked about this before, because I watched Zoo Rangers, which is the source material for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
Yeah.
As a kid, Power Rangers is way more appropriate, a lot less swearing. Because nothing was better than watching Zoo Rangers and watching the Green Ranger hop into the Megazord and tell the Power Rangers to go to hell. That was pretty awesome.
Oh, he Han Solo'd them. Yeah.
Yes. But yeah, it was kind of weird to watch it. And
but I will also say though, Andrew, that for a kids show, the fight scenes, it's definitely goofy, but the choreography of the fights was really good for a kids show. I gave this an A myself. I like this quite a lot.
Yeah, B+ because no Zords. I think the gun thing is a cop out. I used to like it, but no, it's a cop out. Commercial is I love the G.I. Joe Mortal Kombat commercial.
Oh yeah. That's great stuff.
So
right. Next show, Andrew, is
Eek the Cat, which I do believe was one of our hidden gems on our Saturday morning.
It was, yeah. Again, these kids have annoying voices. So just getting that out there.
The bickering guy.
But I think they're supposed to be though, right?
Yeah. It's a very different thing. And watching this, I forgot about a couple of episodes or shows in Clutter, which is just a pile of clothes that came to life, and then the Thunder Lizards. I forgot.
Yeah, I remember the Thunder Lizards. Yeah.
But Eek the Cat is very interesting. He ends up becoming the third person for the kid's costume as the head.
Yeah, but this one,
it's all over. I've thought it wasn't.
This one doesn't even get good until he meets the ghost.
Yeah, and then
that's when the show actually becomes fun to me.
And then the witch thing. The witch was for a children's show.
Very attractive. I know where you're going with this. Yeah,
was like, man.
That's why they had to turn her into a rat at the end, so that way we're like, okay, I'm over that then.
And the Rastafarian cat.
That's one of my notes. My note is, why is this cat Jamaican?
I don't know. Kofi Kingston.
Also, another one of my notes.
There's a lot thing though in the 90s.
Yeah. This is a kids show in the 90s that has a lawyer joke.
Yes. Well, you gotta have one.
Yeah, the heart of a lawyer is one of the ingredients for this spell that this witch wants to cook, and she's like, "We don't have that." And that Jamaican cat's like, "Because they don't exist, man."
And all she's trying to do is make this potion to trap ghosts to make cosmetic supplies, because
she's wanting to. And I learned this from the Ninja Turtles. She's wanting to milk these ghosts.
Was it milking or was it like a grinder?
Oh, it might have been. I don't know. I don't have that app, so I'm not sure.
Maybe she was Kurt from Good Burger, and you go into the grinder.
But yeah, that's what's my major note here is when Eek starts helping that ghost, that's when the show becomes good.
Yeah, I think it's just the classic Eek show.
Yeah,
there's
a Mr. Rogers reference.
Yes, I love that when he's going through the monsters.
Yes, one of the ones is Mr. Rogers. The other thing too, I was going to ask you this: when they finally find that poor ghost family and friends, are those ghost Shriners?
I think that's what they're implying of, like, because they can only come on Halloween night.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of like a shrine.
And I can do that any day of the week.
And did you notice on the ghost, his bottom was tied like a balloon?
I did notice that. I couldn't stop noticing that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's what got me. Before I give my grade, a couple of commercials. I love Quarterback Crunch cereal by Wheaties. That
yes.
Cool commercial.
I knew you would. As soon as I saw that, I said Andrew would love that.
And the Fox, any sports themed cereal by Wheaties, because there was a basketball one too, I want to say. And then Fox Kids Batman competition that we mentioned before.
Yes. Yeah. Another thing, again, we're nitpicking cartoons. Trust me, I know
that's because we can.
This. All throughout this, when he meets the ghost, the running gag is he can't shake their hands because they're ghosts, and he tries. However, how do they get out of the hourglass thing they're in? They grab Eek and use him and ram him against the thing, the glass. Like, how do they do that if they can't even shake hands with him? Yeah.
My mind's exploding. Maybe they summon, like, because we're both kind of paranormal guys. Maybe they summon enough energy from around. Like,
I'll take that.
I'm trying to go with a paranormal scientific reason.
I love that. I'm all for it.
Okay.
All right. So what did you grade this?
It's a B. I didn't think it was like all that wonderful great, but it's a B. I think it's hard to give Eek an A because from what I can remember, it's always kind of like the same kind of like shtick over and over.
Yeah. He's always got to do something for those kids.
Yeah.
He's got to reach these kids. I gave it a B-. I thought the whole part with the kids was I didn't care about that at all. I could honestly care less if that witch kept those kids, did whatever she wanted to them.
Yeah.
But the whole thing with the ghost, that was when it was fun. So that's the only reason for me it got a B, even close to a B. So B- for me.
Yeah, I get it.
All right. Next is a show that I don't know why I forgot about this show, but I did forget
about this.
I don't know. As soon as I saw it, all popped up for me. It all popped up for me. This isn't that time where anybody got a cartoon.
Louis Anderson, though, is such a
legend. Honestly, he's a legend.
He's a legend. He's very, very underrated. From Coming to America, Family Feud, Life of Louis, which we're about to talk about, even all the way to his last show that he did with Zach Galifianakis.
Baskets, I think it is.
Yeah.
That show's great. Yeah.
Just great. I really like this episode of Life with Louis because he's mother. I like the candy policy that she kind of puts on, no candy from the beginning of October till Halloween. Kind of cool. Not a problem. But Louis gets a little sticky fingers and accidentally steals a piece of candy from the grocery store. I think every kid kind of almost goes through a little bit of like thing. I remember like when I was 4, my brother used me as a patsy to steal a pack of cards from a grocery store. Believe me, my mother scared me straight. My daughter stole a pack of gum when she was like 3. She was 3 or 4, and we literally walked her back into the store and made her give it to the people. And then they were like, "Oh, don't worry about it. No, don't do that. Tell her this, we told her this is bad."
Yeah.
But that's kind of like what happens. And the whole mission is to turn himself around and get this one piece of candy back to the store, because even the store owner is like, "I'm going to audit all of this candy."
Yeah.
Even though it's
the store owner was
tiny pieces of candy. Like a Tootsie Roll, if we got to put it into.
Yeah. It's not even, it doesn't even look like good candy, right?
No.
That he steals. He steals a small piece of candy.
Bit of honey.
And what you learn from this is not only should you not steal candy, but also it's very hard to, even when you're trying to admit that you stole, people are going to think you're a hero anyway.
Yeah, because
there's thieves
like
out
a
there.
Scared Straight program.
there's thieves out there who are out to steal every bit of candy they possibly can.
Yes, and that's how they started their life of crime, was stealing candy. And even
Yes.
Meat, whose first name is Red,
Yes.
did this as well. But Louis, stops them from robbing the grocery store. He's a hero. But the great thing about Life with Louis is the dad is so disillusional, and I forgot how much I love the dad. But this is a great. I'm kind of missed this. This is a great TV mom. Louis,
Yes,
she's really like
she's great,
and she knows what he did, and she's the only one that's not really treating him like a big hero.
right? But she's not being cruel to him either.
No.
Right, she's being a really good mom, is what she's being. Yeah, I agree with you. The dad's very fun. He's running like a neighborhood watch type.
That was
thing.
so great.
Yeah, the reason that this show works is obviously from the main man himself. That voice, even just his voice, is very distinct, right? But not in an annoying way, in my opinion. So that definitely works for me. Overall, this is a very fun show that I can't believe I forgot about. But I don't know if I'd ever go back and search this show out on top of that.
I want to.
This is probably what we did for a little bit here. I did not hate this though. I still thought it was very
I
good.
gave it an A plus.
See, I gave it a B. So
I gave it an A plus. The commercial that was great was Power Rangers for Super Nintendo, which if you go to the Nostalgia Funhouse YouTube channel, I actually beat it. It's in 3 different parts, but I actually beat it.
I had a Sega Genesis, so my Power Rangers was a fighting game, a much different
straight booty, yo.
No, actually, I still loved it, but
I know it.
Anyway, so next up is Where on Earth is Carmen?
That's
San Diego. Yeah,
I always thought it was
it's usually called Where in the World. So Where in the World is Carmen San Diego was an actual. It was a computer game. And then they turned it into like a live action game show, which I watched the heck out of, honestly.
PBS, man.
Yeah, I love that game show. But they also turned it into an animated series and called it Where on Earth is Carmen San Diego. Gist of it is, these are just two, I guess they're teenagers. It's a brother and sister, and they're detectives, and they're trying to capture Carmen San Diego.
Much better brother and sister duo than What's Anique the Cat.
Agreed. At least these are not annoying. But this is like the epitome of something disguising itself that's actually educational.
Yeah. It's surprising because I put in my notes, never really a fan. And Johnny probably watched this one way more than I did. This is kind of just background noise.
I did pay attention to this a little bit, but I do have a controversial thought here, Andrew. But it sounds like you might agree with me.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the question I propose to you: is Carmen San Diego a master criminal, or is she just really creative about how she gets away?
I think she's just really creative about how she gets away.
Agreed. Because if you're a real master criminal, you're not purposely leaving clues around.
Could Batman track down Carmen San Diego?
Easily. Not even twice.
I gotta tell you, I love my aunt. I gotta say, like, my youngest aunt. Because out of nowhere, as I'm cooking dinner, she sends me the damnedest text messages. And that's why I kind of thought of the Batman thing. She goes, "Who's better, Superman or Batman?" And I put down Batman, and she said, "Really? Why?" And I said, "Because he has no superpowers, but yet he can pretty much defeat any supervillain."
Yeah, agreed. Yeah, it's always gonna be Batman for me too. I'm very curious what you graded this Where on Earth is.
I didn't really pay attention to it. I like the Carmen San Diego idea. I listened to a couple of trivia questions. I'm a big fan of trivia.
Yeah, me and you both are.
So I just kind of gave it a C. It's nothing. I didn't think it was anything great, but I didn't want to give it anything low because, like,
I watched this, paid attention to it, and I also gave it a C.
Yeah. Okay. So even if you don't watch it, we
came to the same conclusion. So all right,
probably
what's
one of
next one?
Oh, one of the greatest. I even wrote this down in my notes. One of the greatest intro songs of all time for Saturday mornings. Big Bad Beetleborgs. I'm sorry.
This is going to be your Doug. I'm just going to let you know that ahead of time.
Oh my goodness.
I hated everything about this show.
Okay. Well, let me get into it.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Great intro. Great intro. The show is stupid as hell. It's knockoff Power Rangers. Okay. The fact
That's
that
one of my notes. This is Power Rangers, but somehow you make it even
wished
easier.
into comic book heroes, and then all of a sudden there. The one part that really okay, so I got 2 notes from this episode because most of it was just unwatchable because it was kind of stupid shtick. Because the Frankenstein monster in the haunted house gets lost, and they pretty much got to look for him.
The monsters part is the best part of the show.
Like, yeah, well, yeah, like Flapper and stuff. But
that's the best part.
Annoying.
Yeah.
The grandmother owns the comic book shop. She's not bad. But great intro. What got me was like the Bulk and Skull kids that are supposed to be like Bulk and Skull.
Yeah.
That in their costume, they scare the kids, and they're with the Nixon, with the Richard Nixon mask. Okay. And the other part that was like, whoa, this show did not age well was when they were bickering with each other, the 2 Bulk and like Skull kids. And one asked, "Are you mentally challenged?"
He did ask that. Yeah, that did catch me a little bit.
I was like, wait a minute. I don't think you can do that. So
I mean, at least he didn't say the word, I guess. And props to him.
It was kind of a Monster Squad like moment.
Okay, let me tell you this. All right, I'm glad you said that. This is how I describe this show. This is my note. I'm just going to read my note. This show is The Mask meets Monster Squad meets Power Rangers, but somehow still sucks.
Yes, it's so bad, but great intro song. Like just that whole big bad with the Jay Leno ghost though, but just the big bad.
It's Jay Leno if he was the mask, is what the ghost is.
I'm just gonna sing over a little bit there, but I'm listening because I'm jamming, as you can see.
Yeah, it's not near as good as Go Green Ranger Go. I hate to tell you.
I disagree. I
will
agree to disagree, dude. Big Bad
nowhere near as good.
By the time probably this show even came out, I was pretty much done with a lot of things. Like, probably watching this, almost getting ready to work or going out somewhere.
So let me ask you this: if it didn't have that theme song,
oh, it's horrible.
Okay,
I still gave the episode like a C just based on the theme song and the Nixon mask, because no kid today will get the Nixon mask reference, and
no kid then would get the Nixon mask reference.
Yeah, I mean, I got it because my mother is a big fan of the Kennedys, so of course anything on TV.
You get it because we're fans of comedy in general,
comedy and stuff,
and
like
history. We're fans of history. Yeah, I gave this a D-.
I could see.
One of my notes is, and I don't know what's happening.
It's just all over the place.
Yes.
I think it tries, but it just fails. But the theme song pushes it all the way through. That intro song just hits.
It's easy to learn. Like I learned the lyrics pretty quick. I'll give you that.
The little rapping by Flapper, 3 average ordinary kids in a haunted mansion.
I do miss. I mean, we've talked about this before. I do miss when a theme song would tell you everything you need to know about the show. Yeah, I love that too. But next up is one of my favorite shows as a kid. Yes. I love these books. Ooh. I read the heck out of these books. It's Goosebumps.
So
this is a great theme song, Andrew.
It's a great theme song, and I thought, even though the acting,
it's kids.
This is why I can't deal with autocorrect. I don't know why it came up with this. In my notes, it's supposed to be acting is bad. It came up acting is based.
Well, maybe that's our new bad. We can say, I think base could mean like it's just there, flatline? Right? Yeah, flatline. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. See, we made.
But maybe I think it still works in a way.
Yeah. I kind of enjoyed it. I like the premises of this girl. She's once again getting bullied. That seems to be the thing. But the cool 2 kids, her and her friend. So
she's got like a best buddy.
Yeah, and
that's with her.
And then there's 2 friends that moved away.
Yeah.
They come back and they're like, "Hey, do you want to get even with those kids?" And they're like, "Yeah." And then I love it too when they're like, "I think even the bullies were like, I think they're up to something." And so out of nowhere, they're going trick or treating. And I hate the space warrior thing where it's like, we're going to be dressed up as space warriors.
Yeah.
That really irritated me. But these two pumpkin or
creatures.
pretty much, yeah, pumpkin. But before that, the parents of the girl, Drew, doesn't want her going out trick or treating, or the mother doesn't, because 4 people disappeared, John.
Yeah, people have went missing. Yeah.
Gone. They don't know what happened to them. Do you know what happened to them?
No. Well, I mean, I do now because I watched the show,
yeah.
but yeah. But Andrew, I was also trying to think of this as a kid watching this. This would really creep me out as a kid.
It creeped me out. As an adult, I was like, this is Twilight Zone based in a way, if you think about it. Because
so these creatures take them to an area to go trick-or-treating, but they can't stop. He's like, you have to trick-or-treat for the rest of your life.
Yes. But finally, and that they keep on showing a close-up of the people. Like, wait a minute. I think I've seen them from the paper. And then all of a sudden, they're like, hey, I think one of that former next door neighbors was like, Shayna. They're like, Shayna, that's you underneath that pumpkin head, and pulls it off. And it's like, no, you got to continue trick-or-treating.
Yeah, because there's no head there. It's just the pumpkin was the head the whole time. Yeah. Or was it? Because this episode has like 3 or 4 twists.
That's what I love. It's like so Twilight Zone-y.
I loved it too. Yes.
And at first I was like, I don't want to watch this. This is going to be stupid. But then as I'm watching it, I'm like picking up on things and I'm like, I get it now.
Yes. This one started out slow, but it got really fun.
So all of a sudden, they scare off the 2 bullies, and then the kids appear and they're like, hey, that's because we're aliens. She's like, yeah.
So the first twist is her 2 friends who showed up from out of town are actually aliens. So they're able to disguise themselves as these pumpkin creatures. That's your first twist. All right. And then as these 2 aliens are leaving, like, hey, we'll come back later. You can tell like they've been friends with this girl for a while. They act very friendly. But then the other twist is, those 4 people, we ate them.
Yes, because they eat people.
Yeah.
They come down on Halloween because people eat a lot of candy and they get plumped up. So.
Yeah. So that kid's those 2 kids are never eating candy again.
No, they're going home and they're cramming down celery and everything else.
Yes. Yeah.
They're calories.
I love this, Andrew. I enjoyed this quite a lot. This is my favorite things I watched on this.
I gotta say, next to the Life with Louie episodes so far, this was probably the best. I gave it an A.
I also gave it an A.
The acting was just. I understand it's Goosebumps and it's
not good. The acting's not good, but it's kids and yeah.
So Johnny, This is what I have been waiting since yesterday to do this with you.
We're both so excited for this.
So all of a sudden, as I'm pretty sure we're both watching this, you see the thing special presentation.
Yeah.
And
I got excited, Andrew. I got really excited.
I was like,
what's this?
Yeah. I was like, are we going to break out some Garfield Halloween? What are we going to do?
And then after I watched this, I said, oh, what was that?
Yeah. And there's a guy with a pig mask going through what looks like a mansion.
Like a creepy mansion.
Yes. And he is trying to get this magic wand as this mansion, or as we come to find out, castle, is talking to him, saying,
the castle can speak.
Yes. Trying to steal this, and it did some little comedy shtick where, it was beating on the thing with like a sledgehammer, everything else, but then all of a sudden the door just opens to the magic wand.
Yeah.
And it takes the magic wand. And that is we learned.
That leads us to, what's the name of the show, Andrew?
I just called it Mystery Castle at first, and then I had to listen, but it's Count Declunes, or Declunes. It's supposed to be like Declues, Mystery Castle.
That's right. Count Declues, Mystery Castle. It's the Count himself. The castle's another character, but he also has I guess, friends that help them out. You got like all of them seem to fit this castle theme, except for some reason there's like a 90s surfer guy.
Yeah, the 90s surfer guy.
It's
and,
Matt Riddle in the 90s.
and just the plain Jane lady.
Yeah.
So pretty much this episode is this pig stealing this wand, and Count de Clunes is like I don't even know how to put it. It reminded me of a Snick show. I even put that on there.
Yeah,
it should be on Nickelodeon. It should be on Snick. So pretty much there's the story, but then there's performers. Like they have a bunch of magicians, they have a musical act.
It was sort of like, and nowhere near as good. It's sort of like the Muppet Show in a way.
Yes.
Where they're putting on a show within the show.
Yes. And one of the cool things is the scientist guy is played by, I know Johnny doesn't like it, but Trevor, if you're listening, you'll might get a kick out of this. It's played by Mickey from Seinfeld. And Mickey is, do you know who Mickey is? Or
I've seen that person before in other stuff.
So I was like, okay. And then there's a robot butler named Bottler.
Yeah.
Who else is, and then the weird kind of like dorky guy.
Yeah, who was sort of Mickey's creation, I guess, in a way, is what it seemed like to me.
I did enjoy that joke where he was like putting him into the thing, and he was like, "Oh, I used to look like that," and it was like a picture of a normal guy.
Yeah, there's a lot of like really fun gags in this, like a lot of almost airplane type jokes.
Did you get the Ninja Turtle one?
I sure did. Of course, I did.
Where he was like, "Last time I did this was with those something like toxic turtles or something like that."
Yeah. One of the notes I have is when the first act on the show, I said, "Did they say this guy's name was Kevin James?"
Yeah. Oh, the creation of Mickey's character, or Danny Woodburn, Professor Pixel, is named Botch. That's kind of cool. I didn't pick up on that because I was still baffled by what this was.
Yeah.
But yes.
Yeah. One of my notes literally says, "What is this show?" Andrew, I will say this though. Take the singing out because I hated the singing, but that hula hoop guy was freaking amazing.
I didn't like the hula hoop guy. I was like, come on, can we see something else?
Did you see how good he was though? Like that's what I was throwing away. Like he was crazy good. Hated the singing. Don't ever do the singing hula hoop guy.
I didn't
but
get
the hula
it,
hoops were sweet.
I wanted more magic. I think if they would have stuck like kind of like what you said, even the hula hoop was better than the singing.
I'm more of a bird guy, but I get it.
So I think they should either, because I did like the punny jokes and everything else.
Yes, there's a lot of really fun pun jokes, which me and you both are fans of.
But I think you either go kind of all in on the skits or you go all in on the story.
Yeah,
I didn't see where, like, I didn't feel.
But I feel like the acts that are on here were real. Like these were real people trying to do their actual acts, right? And instead of this being like the Muppets, for example. Those were written skits that they were performing in front of people.
Yeah.
But this was not, I don't think. The one that we're not even talking about was these kids who danced, and the song they were dancing to, the lyrics were kind of suggestive. Like one of them was something about loving somebody tonight, something like that.
So, because Count de Clune is played by Max Maven. I don't know. He's part of the Society of Magicians. But I get, he was on Mork and Mindy.
Oh, well. Now, Andrew, when you get to solve the case of who took the wand, they put up this graphic of all the characters that you've seen on the show.
Yeah.
And they're in different colors. The main cast are one color, and the guests on the show are another color. And you could randomly, like they tell you to start randomly at a certain color, and I did that. I swear to you, I landed on, because I followed them along because he was telling me this. He was right. I landed on the person they said.
I landed on that too. And I put that on there. The square game got me.
You got me too.
LOL, because normally I'm like, yep, this is fake. This ain't gonna work. This is not gonna do. Where did you start? Like I started at the bottom left.
I'm trying to remember.
I wanted to ask you this. Because I was like, I need to remember.
I started at the bottom, I want to say like next to the last one, if I'm thinking right.
Okay.
I have to see it again. I don't remember exactly what it looked like, but
I don't.
we both ended up at the same spot though. I kind of think that it's set up where you're always going to end up there. Would be my guess.
Yeah, because I was looking at what it is. You could just watch this episode right on Vimeo. But
And that's why
I was
Vimeo
like,
exists.
I need to find to see if I think this was like the only episode, maybe, and that's why it was a special presentation to see that if it could go further. But like I said, if this was Saturday night, like Snicks type stuff,
yeah,
I probably would have been like, this is great. This is pretty good.
Yeah, I wouldn't have
hated
it.
The fact that it's on my Saturday morning lineup, not too happy. The acts were okay. I wish I could have got more of like the story. And I just gave it a C because I wanted a little bit more of like the story. Like nobody ever said, why did he steal the wand?
Yeah, and everybody seemed to be fine with it. Like the excuse they gave was he's a magician.
Yeah. Oh, it just needed a wand. And
he's a thief.
In his act was all based on a wand. So there was some type of foreshadowing. And like Johnny said, his name was Kevin James. And when I heard that, I was thinking King of Queens.
Yeah. So the King of Queens stole the wand. We all knew he was a thief. Paul Blart, mall thief, you know. I also, my grade on this, but grade, I guess a C.
It's so unique and not supposed to be there.
Yeah, you look this up. Is this the only episode of this ever?
From what I can tell, this is the only episode. Like,
because they act like this is a thing you should know.
No, like
they give you no introduction to any of this stuff. They just throw you in it.
I think it's because I know there's like that secret, like that Society of Magicians where they go. It's in like Los Angeles.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. And it's like a house like that. That's what I thought it was at first. So IMDb actually rated this 5.4 stars out of 10 for people that watched it. And that's 5 votes.
5 people see this. Well, 7 now, Andrew.
But I can't find any like episode list. You get cast and crew. I mean, the only person that I recognize is the Danny Woodburn from Seinfeld. But I don't think this lasted. I think they were like, hey, we're going to put this on during Halloween. Let's see if it catches on. It's got some mystery to it.
I wonder do you think this might have been like a local show to an area and they were like, let's just see how this does if we expand it a little bit?
Maybe,
but they don't give you any sort of, like I said, they just throw you in. Like you get no real introduction of what this show's supposed to be. The second that the magician appears and starts doing his act, I was like, what am I watching?
Yeah, like I understood like they were talking about it, like saying, okay, we're gonna have different things, and I was like, okay, so maybe we'll see one. But no, they like pump it out where so it does show up like there's this thing that says blast from the past. But it's got a bunch of shows that I've heard before.
Yeah, see, I never remotely had heard of this. I don't remember this at all.
So this was at this part of this, because it was 3 separate areas. It was Oakland, Providence, and Louisville.
Yeah.
So do you think this maybe was only Louisville?
That's what I'm thinking, right? That's the only thing that makes any sort of sense to me.
And they got it mostly under a movie. Like right here, it's under movie database.
Because it's a one-off thing, right? But it doesn't feel like a movie at all. It's shot like it's a series.
And how many times are you going to steal the wand? Is that going to be the concept of? Yeah, 1. It says videos 1, and is that going to be the concept for every episode? Just somebody steals the wand, and you got to figure out what.
Or somebody steals a different item in the castle, right? And you got to figure out who did it. That's, I guess, I don't know.
Like.
I have no idea. But yeah, we're on the same page. Like, what did we watch? All right, Andrew, out of all these shows, what was your favorite?
Life of Louie.
All right, mine was Goosebumps. That was my favorite of these.
I would almost put it at a tie if, once again, I am nitpicking a children's show, but if the acting was better on Goosebumps,
Yeah, I think I was just prepared for it, so that didn't bother me as much. Yeah.
like if the acting was a little bit better.
Yeah, so that was we did it. I highly recommend, at the very least, if you listen to this, and Andrew puts this up on the Facebook page, at the very least, fast forward to the last 20 minutes of this and see what you're seeing and let us know what you think of it.
So the voice of the castle, I had to look it up because the guy looked familiar. Have you ever seen Empty Nest?
Oh, a long, long time ago.
Or he was also on Golden Girls. Charlie.
Well, I do know Golden Girls, yeah.
Charlie, the neighbor on Empty Nest.
That's who did the voice of the castle?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That womanizing man. The voice of the castle.
So your MVP is Laugh with Louie, and mine's Goosebumps.
Yeah. I liked Life of Louie. I don't know. I think the mother did it for me.
She was, out of all these, she was like the nicest, most reasonable character out of all the things we watched. That's for sure. Yeah.
Well,
except for maybe I would throw in Bobby's mom's pretty overall reasonable, but she still feels very charactery.
Yes.
Compared to Louie's mom. No.
But that is our Halloween weekend lineup. Like I said, I will leave the link down below and you can check that out, like Johnny said, or just look up Count the Clues Mystery Castle and check that out. Tell us what you think, because it'd be interesting. I wish there was more episodes, because I would say, Johnny, we are doing a whole episode on Count the Clues Mystery Castle.
Now, when I messaged you after I watched this all, like, I was hoping I wasn't gonna just come out and say, did you see the last thing? Because I didn't want to spoil it. But the first thing you responded to me was, did you watch? We got to talk about that last show.
The minute I ended watching it, and that was the one show, even though it graded so low, probably because it was something I haven't seen before.
Yeah.
Where I was like into it.
It is really rare. Well, me and you both graded this show low, but I find it the most fascinating out of all the things that was on here.
I think because it was the newest thing, and I felt like there was things that I could, like I said, like improve.
And the fact that you didn't find so much just really adds to the mystery of this mystery castle.
It's Count the Clues. Yeah, there's one episode of this whole entire thing. Like I said, if it was on Nickelodeon, like late night Nickelodeon, be a million times.
It does feel like it's a Nickelodeon evening Halloween special is kind of what it feels like.
Yes, or it should be on like right before Are You Afraid of the Dark?
Agree. That's what I was about to say. Yeah,
which we have listed on here as well.
Yeah,
for up and coming episodes. So stay tuned for that one, and check us out on our various social medias: Facebook, YouTube, merch shop. Join our Patreon, where as I just do let's plays and everything else, I do not release them the minute I done editing them. I kind of space them out, but you as a Patreon supporter can check that out right away, way before it even hits YouTube. So check out Patreon as well. And with that being said, good morning, good afternoon, and good night.